memories, what you actually feel things about.
I need food to move back, please, while I release him out.
Okay.
Please. Can we move all the way back? He's trying to take over my body. Just move all the way. I said move back!
The following program has been filmed for your entertainment. However, viewers may find some scenes disturbing. Casement Square. It was refurbished a few years ago and it's become a place of great celebration. Thousands gather here every year. But Casement Square also has a gruesome past. This week on the Ghost Trail, Casement Square.
Hello, my name is Michael Scott, and I'm the skeptic.
Do you believe in ghosts?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Well, at very basic levels, just because I've never really seen any evidence to suggest that ghosts exist.
Hi, my name is Karen Potter. I'm a believer and a member of the Gibraltar Paranormal Society.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yes, I do. But it all depends on the terminology of ghosts. But yes, I do believe that there is something out there, what's considered to be the supernatural, really.
Perhaps the most gruesome aspect of Casement Square is that it was one of the most famous locations for public executions. And that fields a very powerful image in the mind. And we're going to see what we can find there.
The last public ones, certainly on casements, would have been in the 19th century. But casements is very interesting because we excavated the site when the pedestrianisation area, and we were very interested in excavating the site. And we got a lot of information out of it because originally it seems to have been a beach. Before the wall, where the Watergate was, what we found was evidence of the water, the tide would have come right halfway into casements. And in fact, when we used to excavate the site at about 1.5 meters down, every day the tide still comes in. People don't know this, but the water, salt water, seeps in every day and out from wherever the coastline is now. So by the time you find the levels related to the 16th century, Gibraltar would have been Spanish then, what you find is that there's no water, no beach there. The galley house is used for other purposes, obviously accompanying the boats, and there's lots of houses, lots of residences around there, little houses built by the Spanish. And there we found lots of things, but among them we found lots of human remains. Well, not lots, but quite a few human remains of people. You find that in Gibraltar in many parts. I mean, I remember in the cathedral, I'm digressing a little bit, but there was a well there, and you find a human jaw in a well, and so you wonder what's going on in those times. But certainly there were human remains found scattered among the houses of the 16th century, what was then Spanish. The British then take over Casemates, or Gibraltar, and they use the galley house, which is again, shortage of space. It's a large building, strong walls, and you see some of the early maps showing it as a shot house, so they were keeping ammunition in there. And it's only towards the end of the 18th century that they start building bomb-proof barracks, which are the Casemates barracks that we know. And they were completed, I think it's in 1817. Then they were used as barracks for the soldiers, and then it was a parade ground. So the beach became a parade ground in many ways through time. Eventually became a car park in more recent times. And it's in the more recent history that during the crisis with Spain and the frontier was closed, that it was used, I think, as a lot of us remember, as a hostel for Moroccan workers. So the site of casemates has had many uses over the years. But the interesting aspect has been, I think, the finding that there was a time when people were living there, and why people's remains were left scattered around is something that is beyond me.
Halt!
Been a lot of little things that have happened to me. Something like you feel like somebody's touching your hair. You have that feeling that someone's at the end there, and that uncomfortable, heavy feeling you're being watched. That's happened a lot. On one occasion, I remember I was locking the back door, and we tend to stay two members of staff in the restaurant. You never stay on your own. But this member of staff was waiting for me to lock up. They were sat right at the front by the front door. I was right down the end, locking up. And I heard someone speak to me very clearly as I was locking up. And I thought it was the person at the front. So I turned round and I checked with him, and I said, yeah, I'm coming now. He said, but I didn't say anything. I said, but did you hear that? He says, actually, I did. What was it? I thought it was you speaking to me. I said, I wasn't speaking to you. I thought you were speaking to me. And it was that clear. That was one little story. I mean, other stories from members of staff have been things like whoever it is, and we've had someone check it out, tends to like the women. And they've often gone into the toilets late at night to get changed, and they've heard their name being called, or the light has gone off and on. People that are working in the kitchen, often just doing their own thing, and then suddenly something will drop from one of the shelves when everything is quite sturdy there for obvious reasons, because you've got your health and safety going on. So lots of little things going on all the time like that, and it kept coming back, my own plus others in the area.
And shortly after the British captured Gibraltar, there was a plot. Gibraltar was not as glamorous as it is today. I mean, people used to die of the plagues. There was yellow fever, dysentery, cholera, all these things, and people used to die like flies. The military that was stationed here didn't like the place either. It was very hot, not very comfortable. And there was a plot by a regiment to kill the governor, get the money, and run off to Spain. You know, a mutiny. And it was found out. And a couple of the ringleaders were executed. They were flayed. That means they were skinned. And their skins were nailed to the two doors at Lamport, there, for everybody to see. Because remember, it was the only entrance to Gibraltar. So if you were coming into Gibraltar, look what's going to happen to you if you don't behave.
Samantha Donbevand says she can speak to those who have left our mortal realm. However, she has never been to Gibraltar before, she doesn't know where we're taking her, and she hasn't done any prior research.
It was a challenge. I wanted to, for me, show people that there's more than we are aware and more that we see. Also to lift the energy vibration in Gibraltar and take some of these souls that are stuck and earthbound up to the light. And I'm just overwhelmed and very lucky and humbled to have been given the opportunity to work in this manner.
Everything you see in this part of the program actually happened. So this is Casement Square.
That energy of shipping things secretly, shipping fine things for money, jewellery, boat, and quite a commanding man. On the right-hand side, there's something quite significant with the right-hand side here. The ships, the boats coming across, and this place here on the left, as I'm working on the left-hand side here, the castle. Right, so there's a link with that, and this area on the right-hand side with the boats, and things coming in and out. But whatever area we're going to be going to on the left, there's something in the walls. As if something's been in the walls, or written in the walls, or hidden in the walls. Crowds, people just quite happily watching death. Watching death. So there'd be people who would just be killed. Which would have been where different teams, different regiments, different teams, different military, different places that would have all had different segments, is what I get. It's like different squares. It's like a compartment of people, all each corner is representing each, as I turn around, each area is representing something completely different on the 4 areas. This centre here, I'm filled with, I just see hangings, stones thrown, ropes tied, that type of feeling.
You mentioned the word ridicule.
Just being killed because there was no understanding. There was just no understanding, just ridicule, laughed at, persecution. War. Bangs. Can. Sort of what? Every time I keep pressing my ears in, it's to silence the death, it's to silence the guns, it's to silence the banging, it's to silence everything. That's all I want is the silence.
We're standing metres away from Grand Battery.
Where's that? What is that?
Just over this wall.
And it is.
Gun batteries.
Okay. It's like a slow death because you can't hear anything. Just can't hear anything. And it's got so many of them like this. For months, so many of them are just like this. Shut, warning, and everyone would kind of run. That's what I'm getting in this area here. Everybody, me and Max. Just thousands of people, as if there's a bomb gone off and everyone's just running. That's what I'm getting right now. Just people running through this area, and that would close. Not quite good. Oh, God. Oh.